Hey guys, so today I will be upgrading or changing out this double deadhead unit on my 2006 Nissan X-Trail. I'm basically swapping this one out that I already installed, and I'll post the link on the video here to watch the original video for this one. But anyways, I decided to get a different unit, one with physical buttons and physical volume and power button, and I'll explain that later. But anyways, we'll be installing that, so let me get this set up and we'll get started. Alright, so let's get this install started. So first things first, unplug the negative on your battery. That's the first thing you want to do. Next, we're going to remove this trim panel here around the radio itself. There's no screws for this specific vehicle, so it's just taking this out. So get yourself a panel removing tool, or you can do it by hand, as I've done it before. And just grab it and pull straight back. It's just all clips holding this one in. Okay. Then we're gonna need a small Phillips screwdriver, like that one. We're going to slide this back. Watch your control arm here for your washer windshield wipers. And I'm just gonna angle that out, and that. Then when I remove the connectors here for the four-wheel control, as well as the hazard and the rear defroster. So it's just alright, so once you've got those the dash trim removed, remove the radio. Now on the original or the rails will have four screws here, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are T15 or torque 15 screws that to remove those. So once you got those removed, it'll be the same thing for the original. And I just grab it and pull it straight back. Just watching where your harnesses are. Obviously, we got all the connections here, but same idea. So once you've done that, I'm gonna unplug my antenna here, and this is the factory antenna, so there's no adapter needed for that one. I have a USB for my main harnesses, so let's get all this unplugged. Okay, so now we got the the old unit out. So now it's back to pretty much looking like factory. So now first thing I'm gonna do is run my two USB connections here. And these are the two here. So you can see the back of it. That's what connects to the new unit. So that's why it looks different. So I'll run one again to my compartment here by the driver's side, and one to the glove box. Alright, so to run the GPS buck, we'll be removing the glove box. Now to get the glove box out, or the bottom side of it anyways, you remove these two little pins here, one on either side. So to remove those, excuse me, small flathead screwdriver, and I go right in between the little pin and the glove box itself, and I'm just gonna push it a little bit. Get a panel removing tool if you need it, like that. Go right in between it, and you can just slide it right off. There it goes. Once you got both of those little pins out, we'll just lift the glove box. It should come out. So I'll set this one off to the side. Now, to get the rest of it out, there's we see 1, 2, 3, and then you might have to lift this one up to get to view the rest. So there's 1, 2 at the bottom here, and 3 T15s screws that you need to remove. The only reason you need to remove it is because it's a cover that doesn't allow you to kind of go to where you need to go. So anyways, let's get this out. So now that you've got access to the bottom here, then I'm not sure if you can see my GPS puck is up here. Now, so what I did was, feed the wire to the back here. But to gain access to this corner, you're gonna remove this little cover here, which is the air vent, and then that's where your tweeter is. So you're gonna grab that and just push it or pull it straight back. That one just held on by clips. And then this gives you access here. This is the air vent to the window. And as you can see here, if you can see it, that's my my wire here for the it's right here for the GPS antenna. So it's simply going to feed it through here, and you have access right directly above it. You'll be able to see the light coming through, and you fish it through there. The rest of my wire I pushed up and into the pillar here, and now my GPS puck is sitting right there, and it doesn't move. It sits there right perfect. So that's how you do your GPS puck. Again, on my previous video, which I'll link up to, it'll give you more of exactly how I did it, but it's fairly simple. So that once that's done, we'll put this cover back. That's good there. And now we're gonna run our other USB, second USB to the glove box. So there's our second USB. Bend the camera down. Oops, not too much. So with this out, it's a lot easier to run this one. So this end here is what needs to go to the back of the radio, or sorry, the other way around. This end is what needs to go back to the radio. So once you have it out, pull it through, and you're gonna have direct access to the side here, where the connectors are for the hazards and your defroster. And then of course make sure you fit it up and behind this side here. So we'll push that through about there. Should work. We'll give enough slack, and I'll put our glove box back together. So first is the big cover, and then the bottom piece. Alright, so now we've got our both of our USBs in place, as well as our GPS antenna. So now that we're done all that, we'll take the radio, the new and the old radio harness inside, and I'll be soldering up all the wires to the new one. So let's go do that, and then we'll come back and finish up the install. Alright, so now I've got the radio harness all done here. So here's the connector that came with it, which of course I don't need, so I just cut it all off. And then here's my harness. I like to shrink tube and solder all my connections. I don't use them by connectors, but it's up to you what you use. So this is the one connection that goes to the new radio, and then these are the two that will go to the Nissan. One thing I will mention is for my ground, I did put a ring terminal on the end. I'll be using metal behind the radio. The previous radio, for whatever reason, when I did it through the radio harness, it would dim on and off for whatever reason. So once I changed my ground, then it worked fine. So I'm gonna do exact same thing for this one. Now I'm just gonna go and kind of clean up my harness here, so it looks like a single one, and just zip tie things up, and just clean it up real well. We'll head back to the car, and we'll get this going. Alright, so now we're back in the car, now that we've done the harness and everything. So we are going to connect the harness first. So we'll connect this main one first. So these ones can only go one way, of course, as you will notice. So these are antenna adapter here. So small one first. You want to do that one, then the larger of the two. This way. So on there, there is our ground, and for the ground, I'm not sure you'll be able to see it from there. Behind here, there's a big metal bar that's going across. That's where I tapped into for my ground. I just used a 1/4 inch self tapping screw. So we'll do this. Actually, what I'll do is I will put that little screw in there. Make sure my ground is on there before anything else. ground. Got our harnesses on there, USBs, GPS, and our antenna. So next we'll get the radio out. Now on the previous one I had shown I used the universal brackets. For this one I already taken the original brackets of the original radio, and they're labeled left hand and right hand, so we know which one where they go. We'll be using those screws. So let's get the radio out. And then we'll be placing the brackets on here. So right hand, all you have to do is just line them up. Essentially there's only one way they will go into, and they will go into here, like so, on the first set of screws or openings. Alright, so we got both our USBs plugged in. We got our main harness that will click right into place. Our RCA harness plugged in there. Got our Wi-Fi in here. Then we will do our antenna. And last, we'll do our GPS. So depending on what you have, the type of radio that you got, those will be the plugs you will be using. Obviously, if you're going to be adding a backup camera, you can do that now. A DVR, you can do all sorts of things. But for me, this is what I'll be using for the time being. So screw that on there. Just finger tight will work. Alright, so now we got all our connections here. Next I will get the radio to go into place, and then we'll plug in our battery and give it a test to make sure that it's working. So anyways, let me get this done. Let me get this radio in here. So what you want to do is all these harnesses you want to push back into the bottom here, because you need that space for the radio to sit up top. So there is the radio up and running. We know everything's working so far. So volume. So let's finish up here. Let's get the dash back on. Okay, so we've tested out. We know it's working. No issues there. So now let's put our dash back on. So now we're gonna do the exact same way. We're gonna have to just make sure that we're putting back on. That let me just refocus this. There we go. That watch for the arm for the wiper blades. So make sure you bring out the connector. Remember how it goes. This little clip to the inside, and these two as well. So now again we'll angle it in like so. Okay, put our plugs in, make sure they click into place. Oh, start popping that out. Okay, almost on. Now for the all-wheel control here. Okay, we know that's on. I'm gonna go in there and throw it in. So start at the top. Make sure the top is going over the radio first, and just line everything up, and then just give it a push, and everything should snap into place, just like that. Maybe a little bit here, I guess. Not to put the one out a little bit. Go over high enough, so I should snap it in place. And there you go. Okay, so we've got the install done. So we'll just give this unit a quick test. As you can see there, I already set up my my current time, and I showed the last station that I was listening to for your radio. I did move a few icons on my home screen. So there's my music app that I use, Bluetooth, and I'll probably be removing the navigation, but you can move these around and add whatever you use the most. So now we'll give it a quick test to make sure that's working. So we'll go to the radio first and we'll turn it down just for copyright issues. So you can see there are radios up and running. I already tested that. If it's highlighted is the current station that you're on, and if you go to the home button, so we know on that station, it'll show you that station there. From here you can change to the previous and next presets if you already have them set up. So then we'll go and we'll close that one out. Now let's test out with some sound. Let's try this one out.
Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
And that's my music app. So I know everything's working now. I've gone and tested it out. So yeah, that's how you install or upgrading a unit on a 2006 Nissan X-Trail. I'll post in the description down below the link for this specific unit, as well as the unit I removed. So if you have any questions, comments, let me know. Thanks for watching.